And we are on live. Let's see. Michael, tap. Is this thing on? Yes, it is on. Dennis, that's a really low step through design. Yes, it is. So I actually have Jory behind the camera over here. There he is. Say hello to the people, Jory.
Hi, Area 13 family.
I was thinking we should call everybody the cadets.
The what?
Cadets.
Oh, the
Area 13.
Cadets?
Not space cadets. More like, you know where I'm going with this, people, right? All right. So, well, that right there that you can see on camera is our Crusader. And Jory brought that one out so we could compare to this new bike, lovely green color. We are here to review the Aventon Sinch, which is a new folding step-through bike. So basically the Crusader's been our kind of staple step-through folding bike, but they're out of stock, and they will be for some time still. So we needed something in the meantime, and coincidentally, Aventon came out with this. So it's perfect timing.
Very perfect timing.
Do you remember all the specs on this thing?
On this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got them written down.
Whatever. I've got the website open on my computer, so we can also share our screen and go through the detailed specs on this as well.
I also have it on my phone, too, if we need to.
Perfect.
Or I've got some drawn up notes.
All right, let's change over to the screen here. Ta-da! All right, so this is the Aventon Sinch. It's a folding step-through bike. It comes in two different colors. So this is there's a nice kind of bright red. The one we've got on camera today is the green, which I'm definitely going to get some close-ups of the green paint job because it looks super cool. It looks better in person than it does on these photos, if you ask me. So, in fact, why don't I jump back to our camera here and show you guys. See if I can zoom in on this paint job or not. Because
It's
I
a
really
good
like
color.
it.
It's a good green. I like it.
It's almost like a satin, but it's like
They call
when
it
you
a
look-
moss green.
moss green.
Yeah,
Oh, that's what Cali Helmets calls their green helmet, is a moss green.
that's right.
Apparently that's a popular color then. It's almost like a color changing green. Like it looks dark at some angles and really light at other angles. It's super cool. So I really like the green.
It also comes in a bonfire red,
Yes.
which is also a cool color.
Michael Horton says it looks like a baby Adventure. I mean, it kind of does.
Yeah, that's a good idea to call it that, yeah.
So I have not, as is usually the case with these reviews, I haven't actually ridden the bike yet because sometimes I just like to get the first impressions on camera. Have you ridden it yet?
I have not ridden it yet. I put it together, though.
So there we go. So if we crash, it's his fault.
I did not put it together. There's a disclaimer that comes across the screen on this one, right?
We got a new member joining the channel, Tuna Tony. Thank you for joining.
Love the name, Tuna.
And if you guys have any questions at all about the bike, of course, ask away. It is $1,799, so right at $1,800.
Mm-hmm.
So priced just a step above the Crusader bike. Tuna Tony says it's great to be here. We got a woohoo. I'm thinking that's Jessica in the background. Looks like she's online as well. A couple of differences you'll notice between this and our Crusader model. One is, you want to tell them?
You're talking about the suspension fork?
I am.
All right. Yeah, we got that RST guide suspension fork, and as you can see, it's definitely got some travel to it. In fact, the specs say it's got about a 45 millimeter length of travel to it. I know that's a huge thing for you guys because everyone that's asked for a folding bike would like the suspension. So as you can see, there is a difference between our Crusader with the rigid fork as opposed to the Aventon Sinch. that has a suspension fork. The RST Guide is a very, very popular company with our suspension forks that we
Yeah,
have.
we use that same fork, but the bigger 26-inch size on our Sabres or Fox Bats, a bunch of different bikes, and they've been very reliable.
Right.
They're not like super adjustable, like something you'd have on something high end, like you know, the Falcon or one of our high end mountain bikes. But they're very reliable. Add some comfort. They get the job done.
It does allow you to be locked out as well. By the way, it does say that it is able to be locked out, so it is
Sweet.
able to be a little bit stiffer if you need to.
So that is probably the biggest difference
Mm-hmm.
between these two bikes. The step through is pretty similar between the two. It's very low. I don't know. What do you think?
I think they're almost dead on.
Pretty darn close.
Yeah, they're pretty close, which is great because then it makes it a very accessible step through.
Yeah. So I would say the frame is maybe a little bit sleeker and more refined looking.
Yeah, I feel like it's not as long.
It may not be as long as the Crusader. I think you're right. I think it's just a little bit shorter, you know, which makes sense. Just kind of the frame design with the battery tucked behind there. In fact, actually, now that I look at it, that's definitely the difference. Is the Crusader's got the battery behind the seat post,
Mm-hmm.
so it's a little bit longer right there.
Yep.
They probably ride very similarly, power-wise and everything. But you know what? Since we got both of these out here, we could race them and find out.
Are we gonna race?
I actually didn't think about that. That was not planned, but I think we should.
We should start putting people like who's you know, everyone should vote blue or red. Go for blue. Go for blue.
What? Red. But tire-wise, it's got more of a street tread. These are kind of just a good all-around tire. The brand name on this one is Sun. I've seen basically an identical tire to this under different brand names. But people generally tend to like these. Very smooth rolling tire, very quiet. So if you like the comfort of the fat bike, but you actually just don't want the noise and the off-road tread, it already comes with a tire like that.
I like the gum walls on it too. It's kind of creative. It kind of ties that green in there.
Yeah, the gum wall isn't my #1 choice on most bikes, but with this paint scheme, they make it work. So you got to have the right paint job for it. You can't just throw it on anything.
I agree.
They're both, let's see, they're both 7-speed bikes.
Mm-hmm.
So the Derailleur is, let's see, Shimano Altus. So that's the same. They're both 20-inch fat tires. The Sinch looks like it's actually using probably, well, now I don't know. Hold on, I'm trying to figure out what motor this is. I think it's the newer Bafang motor, which is the same as what's used on their Aventon bikes. What do they officially rate this bike as? Do they call it a 500 watt or?
They are calling it a 500 watt.
Okay, so they're both 500 watt bikes, which I know some people are like, oh, I want a 750 watt, but I've told you this time and time again, you put a real powerful 750 watt motor in a 20-inch wheel like this, it will pull wheelies. It won't be controllable. It have too much torque. But we'll test these side by side and see how they do. The Crusader is pretty peppy. It takes off pretty quick, so it's gonna have to be a pretty fast bike to keep up with it. But basically, yeah, I mean, the battery, is it a 14 amp hour?
So that is kind of like the downside. That is the only little bit difference, other difference on
between
this bike.
these two.
Between these two, you got our Crusader that came with a 17.5 amp hour battery.
We like big batteries.
Yeah, we
I always
like
put big batteries on them.
More power, longer range, of course. Granted, this is integrated into the down tube. You're looking at a 14 amp hour battery. Still plenty of power and range.
Mm-hmm.
You're still getting about roughly 30 miles of range if you're doing mostly pedaling. A little less if you're doing full throttle, obviously, but yeah, that's another little slight difference. Not too crazy, but
so other than that, they're very, very comparable bikes. I mean, you're kind of just, you're trading basically, you get a suspension fork on that one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a nice looking bike.
Still a little step through, which has
The
been a
step
huge
is
seller.
very low. Folding wise, I would say they're about the same. Compactness, you know, the Crusader might be just a hair bit longer, but it doesn't have a suspension fork, so it also might be a little shorter once it's folded. So they're going to be roughly the same. The racks and fenders is another difference. I knew there was something else. The Crusader, we always had it come with the racks and fenders, and as well as a headlight and tail light. Unfortunately, the Sinch does not come with racks and fenders. They're optional though, so you can get them.
Yes, the fenders are a kit for the front and rear. It's $84.
Maybe there's another bike.
And for the rear rack, you're looking at $49.99. So that's definitely doable. If you guys want the rack, we can definitely get that ordered and brought on if this is something that you guys are ever interested in.
Yeah, so you can go get those things. I meant to mention this earlier. We actually do have another review bike that showed up right before we hit live from FedEx. So who knows what UPS is bringing us. So this is not going to be, this isn't the first review we've done this week, and it won't be the last either.
Probably not.
We'll have more reviews next week because we've got more review bikes coming in. So yeah, and then lights is unfortunately an extra thing you'd have to add on as well. The lights would not be hardwired into the bike. They would be basically have their own separate battery for lights. So a couple of things that would make this an awesome bike that are missing, but it does look really good. You had something you're going to point at.
Oh, I wanted to point out, as you can see on this right here, you guys probably can't see it. Down here on the bottom, you actually do have a USB port. So I know we have come across lights out there that have USB ports that can hook up to that. Or you can hook up your phone if you need to charge it. But it does come with that feature, which is very, very handy when you're out there in the wilderness and you need to charge your phone, things like that.
Yeah, so there's a way to put some lights on it.
And Aventon does have a bunch of sets of lights, of front and rear headlights in a set, fairly priced, that look very, very complimentable to your standard lights that would come on built into the controller.
I'm going to tilt the camera down. You want to bring that bike up closer? We got to show them this green paint job up close because it looks really good.
Too close?
Tilt it down. Oh, that's all right. There we go, right there. Hopefully this comes through on camera. It looks really, really nice.
I feel like I'm a bearded Vanna White. Just
we couldn't see your beard, but if you'd like them to see your beard, I guess we can move the camera up for that. There we go.
It's a sharp color, though. I like it.
Yeah. Well, unless you guys have questions, I think there's only one thing left to do.
You want to ride it by itself first and then race it, or do you want
to? Sure, we can do that.
Yeah,
I'll ride it. We'll let Jory ride it. We'll kind of get some first impressions. Nice low step through. Turn it on. I'll have to move that seat up a ways. Yeah, I'll adjust that real quick.
Got to adjust the seat. Pretty tall for this bike.
There we go. And
this bike does only come in one size, but does fit various sizes of between 4'11" and about, they said 6'3".
Derailleur needs a slight adjustment. There we go. That's better. All right. This is my first official ride on the new Aventon Sinch. I'm going to go straight to pedal assist 1.
Team red on the bike Sinch.
I got to go over to the street and see how it goes with these smooth tires.
So while he's riding, let's see who else we got
going on.
Pedal
assist up. Grippy.
Yeah, I think we definitely are going to
Throttle.
race this.
Throttle works good. I think I mentioned this on one of the previous reviews of one of these bikes that they've got like a new upgraded throttle. May not work any different, but it feels prettier. The power's decent. It feels like a 500-watt bike. We'll let Jory hop on it and see what he
All
thinks.
right, I'll let you go through the comments. We got some good comments and questions about it.
Yeah. Well, you ride it around. Tell him what you think. Let's see.
Okay.
All right.
Team blue going.
I'm going to scroll way up here.
Ooh, that's smooth takeoff.
Let's see. No, I am not pretending to be Jessica. That would be
Definitely
weird.
uncomfortable.
Let's see. Yes, big batteries. Mossy green is a nice color. As far as belt drive or chain drive, it is definitely a 7-speed chain drive. And yes, the USB port could be useful for adding lights on. You see you guys talking about racing. Throttle, I kind of just mentioned it, but it is a thumb throttle on the left-hand side, just like most e-bikes are. No surprise there. What'd you think?
For the throttle, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So, you know, he doesn't sound super impressed with the power. It's smooth.
It is very smooth.
The tires are very grippy feeling.
It is.
So that's nice.
That suspension, you can definitely feel the difference in that suspension already. Without,
Yeah.
It's been, you know, a minute since riding the Crusader, but it definitely feel the difference already in that suspension feel. So,
all right. So so far it's a smooth, comfortable bike. Really low step through.
mm-hmm.
You know, I think it's priced right for what it is. It's time to race.
Time to race. Where are we racing at?
We could do a couple. We could do like one on the gravel right here.
Okay. Are we panned out?
Are we doing like full throttle, like pedal assist? We planned this out really well.
Yeah, we totally did.
Okay, I got an idea.
Okay.
Let's start pedal assist 1.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm on pedal assist 1.
And we'll just pedal like you normally would to start going. So not like you're in a race. Just start pedaling.
Okay.
Assist 1, and let's see what happens.
Okay, where are we going?
That way until we get off camera. We'll go that way. We'll turn around, and then we'll line up
And
kind of facing the other way,
Okay.
and we'll do something different.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Set.
You can call it.
Set. Go. Pedal assist activates pretty good.
Felt about the same.
Yeah. And that was just on 1.
Didn't really feel any different. All right. I'd say we just go full throttle this time.
Full throttle.
Crank it up, maximum power. We just go full throttle.
Okay. Where are we going? Right here, right where you're at?
Yeah. You were right here, and then you left me.
I did.
Obviously, he's got a slightly more comfortable ride because he's got the suspension fork. All right.
You call it this time.
Okay. I'll do 3, 2, 1, go. Okay.
Wait, we're not going on 3, or we're going on 2, or 1?
We'll go on go.
Oh,
3, 2, 1, go. No, that was just my example.
Oh. Well.
Ready? I'm ready.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
I feel like you had a better takeoff, but I feel like it gets up to the speed like really quick.
Okay. We should try it up the hill then.
On the hill?
Yeah, on the hill. We're gonna try that again.
It's a pretty good start.
There's a nice line right here. I know they can hear us. Hopefully they can see us. Hello over there. Okay. Your turn to call it this time.
Okay.
Full throttle.
On go.
Yep.
3, 2, 1, go.
We're coming back. Don't worry. All right. So on camera, it might look like the Crusader took off a lot faster. So
well,
for this bike,
power-wise, right off the start, I gotta say, it's not my favorite.
so the Crusader has different settings, as you guys may know. You can have all the power all at once, or you can kind of have like a soft start setting and it eases the power on. The Sinch over here has a soft start and it eases the power on. You probably couldn't see it because we were already off camera, but once we got going, we were going the same speed.
Yeah, I caught up real quick.
Like going up the hill, we were actually cruising along. Like I was looking back and it seemed like we were going exactly the same speed, no difference.
Yeah.
So if I turned the Crusader to a soft start setting, I think they'd be pretty well even.
Yeah.
So
do you think it has that option to change that on here?
I don't know that it does. I know they have some settings. That's one thing that the Aventon bikes have that this definitely doesn't with these displays, is they have a mobile app
Yes,
you can put on your phone and you can tweak settings that way. The Crusader, you have a lot of settings you can tweak, but there's no app. You can't connect it to your phone and do anything.
Right.
Basic display settings are the same. Speed, miles, battery range, all that kind of stuff. So that's it. I do like the bike. I think as long as you don't want that initial punch off the line.
Some people feel like it's too jerky on some
they
bikes.
Do. We have to turn it down sometimes.
Yeah, and some people go, I want to feel it right off the bat. So
Yeah.
it is definitely a hard say to which one is better. But I think last but not least, we should at least show what it's like to fold this, because I'm going to tell you this. Folding this one is going to be a little bit different to me. I've already folded it. Is it folded? I'm totally off on my grammar.
You
today.
have felded it.
Felded.
I just made that up.
It's not a tree. I felt. Anyways, I feel this one is definitely different feeling when you fold it. It folds the exact same way as the Crusader, but I definitely want Kyle to fold this one because I want to see how he feels and what his opinion on it is.
Oh, okay.
Because I've already folded it.
I haven't done that. I have not folded it.
Did.
Okay.
I have a stutter now. Folded it.
So we got folding pedals.
Yep.
Which push in and fold over. And then we've got same latch system as what's on the Crusader. It looks identical.
By the way, the handlebars do rise up out of that tube just like the Crusader as well. If you don't see it right here, you lift that latch. It will extend up if you guys wanted more of that upright ride to it. So it does have that same feature as the Crusader. Wanted to point that out.
Okay, so folds there. And then our next fold point is right in the middle right here.
I do like the latch on this one a little bit better.
It's fancy looking.
It is fancy.
And then, is there a safe? Oh, I guess that is the safety.
That is the safe.
Okay.
I think you're on the wrong side. Oh, there you go. How do you feel on that fold right there, that initial start of that fold? A little stiffer, huh?
You know, some of the Avenger Crusader bikes, they vary slightly too.
Right.
So that's not bad.
But it does
sit differently now that it's folded. It folds at like a totally different angle. So that's kind of interesting.
It still has that down kickstand that you're not even on.
Crank is down just a hair, so it would be tilted down just a touch more.
Right. It did feel a little different to me folding it right here because of the battery instead of the battery being already after the fold.
Oh, that's an interesting point. So the front end feels heavier on this.
Right. That's what I maybe was trying to point out.
Gotcha.
It is a different feel of a fold because you're folding it with the battery as opposed to just folding the front part of the frame.
Yeah.
But it still folds very smooth.
You
the
probably
latching
wouldn't
is very
notice a difference unless you did them side by side.
True.
So
you have a star rating? You want to do a star rating? Do we do a,
Well, I mean, I used to have like a rating system when I was recording reviews and had time to kind of look over things, but basically I'd rate them based on battery capacity.
Right.
Quality, just overall, things like brakes. I mean, if it comes down to it, I'd say quality of the bike looks great. It's a really clean looking, nice bike.
Yes.
So are we doing 5 stars out of 5 stars?
Are we want to rate each subject a star rating?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, so
I'm latching it back here. It's a nice latch.
Battery. Let's start off with battery, obviously. That's a big one.
Battery, I would give a 4 because it's perfectly fine but it doesn't like. Well, I mean, just as an example, the Crusader has a bigger battery,
Right.
and is in a similar price range, if not a little less. Doesn't have a suspension fork, but it comes with fenders and racks. So
yeah, I mean it's.
But the battery is fine. I'm not giving it a bad score.
No.
I would say it's kind of like industry average.
Yeah.
14 amp hours, rad power bikes, Aventon bikes. So many have a 14 amp hour in like the 1500 to 2000 price
Yeah.
range.
That makes sense. Yeah, because their levels actually have the same power level on their battery as this one does. So
yeah,
and that's a bigger bike as well.
And power wise, what would you give it?
Start off, I would say like a 3.5. It was very soft. It was very slow to get going, or right off the line, I should say. But once I got going, like I said, even going up the hill, I caught up to your speed right away.
So you give it like a 5 once it's moving, or a 4 once it's moving?
I would say 4.5 once it's moving,
Okay.
which is fair. And then like I'd say like a 3.5 once to
So
start.
on average of his averages, he's given it a 4.
Yes. But yeah, we'll add them up later.
I would agree with that. I've definitely ridden more powerful bikes, but it gets up the hills just fine. Just has a nice slow, soft start. If you want a nice, easygoing, cruising bike that will still get you up the hills, this will do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it was very smooth and comfortable. I'm not gonna lie. That suspension fork, you do feel the difference riding either one of those.
And that is a plus for it. I don't have a specific. I guess if you're giving it a suspension score, then it gets a 5, and the Crusader doesn't get anything because it doesn't have one. Brakes are mechanical, Tektros. Nothing too fancy. This bike isn't designed to go super fast. They're sufficient. Good candidate for a Juentech hydraulic caliper upgrade if you ever felt like you needed more. But if these are adjusted right, they're going to work just fine.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess what it comes down to is we only sell bikes if I like them. And sometimes that means that I carry models, other brands, but we don't carry every bike they sell.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
So Aventon, we carry a couple of their bikes currently, but not all of them because I only really like certain ones. We'll order bikes, if somebody requests it, but I just know we won't move as many of them. This is one that I think we might possibly keep some in stock. We're definitely going to go ahead and put them on the website right now. So if you look for these today, you will find them online because we already had that prepped just in case we liked it. And yeah, I think this is a great alternative to the Crusader because they're completely out of stock and they will be for a long time. You can buy one of these on our website or come in store and get one right now. Short lead time because they're brand new. But like I said, just you can order one. We'll get it for you as quickly as we possibly can in green or red. You've got a couple of color choices too.
Absolutely.
We're going to check and see if we missed any questions before we wrap up here. Let's see. How hard would it be to convert to a full twist throttle? I don't know the answer to that because I haven't checked into what the wiring is like on the Aventon throttle. But short version is any e-bike throttle works basically the same. If you're willing to do some custom wiring, it can be done. Don't know if you want to or splice into things. So not the easiest thing to do. Hardly anyone ever wants a full twist throttle, so just don't be surprised if you don't ever see one as like a factory option for one of these. Second question I saw was, what is the weight limit? And it looks like Jessica already found that maximum recommended weight is 300 pounds.
Correct.
So there you go. So I guess that could be a selling point is if you're over that limit. The Crusader limit is a little bit higher. But again, I don't have any of those in stock. We have the Avenger, which is like a mid-step right there, but we do not have any of these folding step-through bikes in stock. So thankfully, Aventon came out with one. We already carry their bikes, and that'll be a great alternative right now. And who knows, maybe we'll just keep them on permanently because it is a good-looking bike. And thank you, Jessica, for posting up the link to the bike. If you're interested, check it out. You can order one right now, and we will get it either here to our shop or to your door as soon as possible.
I don't think we have anything else. I think that's it.
Awesome.
I feel like this review was a cinch.
We got to end on that. We're done. We're done. That's it. That's the end of